We also found some other articles that we used specifically about learning styles and how students use those in the classroom. So the first one is titled Survey of Research on Learning Styles. There's a really significant quote on this that I liked a lot. It said, "No learning style is better or worse than the other." I think this is really important to remember because certain teachers might prefer to teach to visual learners, for example. So they might prefer students that are visual learners, but there's not really one learning style that's better than the other for the student. If their strongest is auditory, then that's the best one for them. Another student could have kinesthetic as their strongest, and that is the strongest one for them. There's no right or wrong answer for what their learning style should be. Everyone is going to have a type of learning style. We can match students at the elementary level preferences with instructional schedules, and it shows significant gains over 2 years' time. So it's really important, even from a very young age, to see how students learn best so we can teach them to their full potential. It also helps learning what their learning styles is what helps master the type of learning that they are best suited for. That's something that's really important. Growing up, I knew some kids that were in high school and still were struggling to learn because they weren't adapting their learning to their best learning style. The next article, which might have been my favorite, was titled 10 Best Teaching Practices, How Brain Research and Learning Styles Define Teaching Competencies. So this really tied in learning styles to brain research. It stated that 98% of all learning enters the brain through the senses. 98%, that's so much of your learning. It talked about the different types of learners, which is what we used in order to give our surveys to our classes. We had auditory learners, which make up about 20% of classes, and these are the ones that remember the information that they are hearing. Visual learners need a mental model that they can see. I personally identify with visual because if someone tells me the steps or how to do something, it's gonna go in one ear and out the other because I have a very bad short-term memory. So visual learners need a mental model of something they can see. Kinesthetic learners learn best by moving and touching. I feel like as an elementary teacher, this is probably focused on the most right now in my school district because they want to get students actively involved. They know that little kids don't want to sit in their seats all day. They can't listen to a lecture all day. They have to get up and they have to move around. I think this is good to a certain extent because it encourages teachers to implement more kinesthetic things, but at the same time, there are students who don't learn best this way. So we have to make sure we evenly distribute the ways we are teaching throughout our classes so that all types of learners can get something from our lessons. The last article that we wanted to reference was titled The Effects of Brain-Based Learning on the Academic Achievement of Students with Different Learning Styles. Brain-based learning refers to different teaching methods and programs that are based on research found for how the brain works and operates. This particular study in this article investigates brain-based learning and how it affects academic achievement. So the goal of this we sort of modeled in our own research because we wanted to see how we could increase achievement through adopting new teaching methods based on student results. So we wanted to take what we had learned through our surveys in order to help students be more successful in the classroom.